My name is Tanya Rochat, and I am a master at the Arcanum. For me, photography is about creating art, and art, I believe, is about telling visual stories. But first, let me tell you my story. I am an artist, and when I look back at my experiences over the years, I can see that they've all been roadmaps to show me where I was going next. They each have a voice in the work I create at present. I grew up in a household of only girls. We were always busy with creative activities, always making things, and it was this rich stimulation and freedom of ideas that made me want to pursue a career in art. So at first, I threw myself wholeheartedly into my art in high school, and then I was qualified as a fashion designer. It was with this ambition of a newly qualified fashion designer that I went traveling overseas, to Europe, for 3 months. I had such a sensory overload that I photographed everything I experienced, and this introduced me to the power of photography in creating art, in recording memories, and helping us tell whatever story we wanted to tell. Shortly after that, I got married and settled in the Netherlands, where I was formally trained as a photographer. My love for and background in fashion drew me to photograph people, to make them look their best, but also to give them incredible experiences. At the same time, I shot still lifes of every possible object I could lay my hands on, all the while developing my eye and writing my own story, without yet realizing it at the time. After 6 years, we moved to Australia, and I started photographing weddings. I learned so much during those next 8 years. I learned the art of shooting individual photos with the idea of how each shot would contribute to an overarching story. I learned how to improvise with lighting, sometimes using bedside lamps, street lamps or torches to create a shot full of mood and emotion. I learned to draw the essence out of a moment and capture it on screen. Wedding photography also opened many other doors for me, especially doing editorial shoots as well as shooting for high-profile fashion designers. And yet, I wanted to take photography even further. As an artist, I was just not satisfied with capturing what I could create in front of the lens. I wanted to use my photos to create images that were in my imagination. And when I had to come up with images to submit to the prestigious awards of the Australian Institute of Professional Photography, I came up with the idea of creating matte paintings using photos only. This, I knew then, answered so many of my longings as an artist. The recognition I got through the various national awards that I won, including Australian Fine Art Photographer of the Year, helped me once again witness how work, created from the heart, touch and move people. I designed these imaginary worlds, photographed individual shots for each of the elements, and could present something that never before existed. Something that could tell many different stories, all left open to interpretation by the viewer. These were all in essence illustration. I wanted to take my art of storytelling even further, so it was through the use of illustration that I developed the art even further over the next 3 years. I created an extensive series where I would produce a new illustration each day of my experiences of that day, and I illustrated a 40-page, full-color children's picture book, as well as started a second children's book. Then I took a year off and taught myself the art of creating ball-jointed porcelain dolls that I designed to look like fashion illustrations. It was when I had my first solo exhibition as an artist last year, where it was a sort of retrospective of everything that I've done over the last 6 years, that my own story started coming together. I could clearly see that I had 3 different yet complementary styles as an artist. One, as a fine art photographer, mostly through the art of compositing. 2, as an illustrator, working on commission and for personal work. And 3, as a doll artist, exhibiting and selling work in art galleries and online. So I have created 2 distinct websites in the meantime, one showing all my fine art work and another showing all my wedding and portrait photography. I have also, in addition to my main Google Plus page, created 3 distinct Google Plus profiles, one as a photographer, one as an illustrator, and one as a doll artist. I am active on my blog to keep viewers informed of my work in progress, as well as offering tips and inspirations. And I'm currently working on many tutorials to train people in a variety of skills. I already have an ebook on how to create those fantasy worlds of mine, and it sells on flatbooks.com. For me, the Arcanum is about bringing together people from individual backgrounds but with the same common goal, to get better at visually capturing unique stories. It is this relationship between master and apprentice that will set us each up to grow individually and together, to expand and to win in both art and in life. With the help of people that have progressed a little further on in the journey, you can now be invited along and be given wings to fly. I believe, as Master in the Arcanum, that I am here to help you identify your strengths as a photographer and your unique story, and how to take that to the next level. I will also coach you to develop your mind's eye and your creative mind, so that you can learn to see in a way you haven't seen before. I am here to share with you my passion, my knowledge, and my experience as a photographer and as an artist. This is an opportunity that I want to make the most of, so come and join me here at the Arcanum for a life-altering experience.